to the podcast. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hey Dino, how are you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, me too, man. Today, I worked today actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this morning I went out to LaGrange to not one of the bigger, larger homes, one of the smaller, kind of Cape Cod style homes.
Okay.
Yeah, man, those older homes, man. I don't know how old it is, but I would imagine it's over 100 years old.
Oh, like all this wood siding and stuff, all that. No brick anywhere.
No, this one's a brick Cape Cod, and the interior is starting to go. So I just did a couple of little. I freshened it up a little bit. You know, I did a little trim here, a little trim there, but all the paint started to fade out.
For the company or for yourself?
No, for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so when I walked in, I saw this dog there, and it looks exactly like one of these dogs that you would see in a like Anthony Bourdain video when he's out in like Malaysia or Korea or
like a little mutt.
It's a mutt, but it kind of has like a dingo look, but they're small and super skinny.
Okay.
And so I didn't pay no mind to it, and I'm there kind of doing my thing, you know, I'm covering stuff up and I'm working, and a trainer comes in, and she's like, oh, this is the second Korean market dog that I work with in my career. And I was like, oh, that's what that dog is. You know, because there's something different about that dog. It's like, it's not that it's mangy looking or anything like that, but it just looks like a dog that's been whittled down to where, you know how when you take different colors and you mix them and they somehow always end up at a brown.
Okay. Is it multicolored or is it just?
It's not. It's just it's kind of like that rust, almost like a golden oak.
And it has like a straight nose, like that, in straight ears.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of has like coyote
ears.
look a little bit, but it's all like that golden.
That little dingo look. That's what
golden
I'm picturing.
Yeah. That's super skinny. And so yeah, then I was thinking about, wow, this lady's super brave. She brings in a freaking Korean. She brought it over from Korea. She brings it into her home. And obviously, I'm sure they vet these dogs. They're like, hey, they check out their personality. But I mean, just to bring in a dog that's possibly was going to be somebody's dinner at some point.
Oh, is that what you think?
No, that's exactly what it is.
Oh.
It's a Korean market dog. Like it was.
Oh, see, I was going to ask you. I don't get what you mean by that. So I didn't know if you meant like it was a dog that hangs out at the markets where the owner's selling some fish or whatever, and it just is chilling there. It's just one of those like a yard dog. You know how you would say a yard dog?
Yeah.
I thought that's what you meant by a market dog. You mean a dog that they eat?
Yeah.
So fucked up. Would you ever eat a dog?
Oh man. I mean, I would today no. But I mean, if shit ever went down and we end up in this type of apocalyptic type thing and there's no food to eat, but you know, Fluffy's right there, and you know what I'm saying? I like have a few weeks left of life.
I bet you there's a chef that could really make a good dog dish. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure there are.
I bet you like you'd be like, oh, try this. Like, oh my god, it's amazing. What is it? Oh, it's dog.
It's fucking dog flautas.
And you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I don't know. I felt some kind of way when I saw him. I was like, damn, dude, you were fucking almost food lunch.
I know. I feel bad for animals when I see them. Like, I saw a dog like chained up, and I was just drive by, and it was along kind of like it was Morton West over here at the high school. Along Harlem, there's like the baseball field, and it was kind of tied up by a fence, and I was like, I don't know if there's an owner around. And I felt like it just sat with me just because the dog was just sitting upright. And I just felt really bad. You know, like you feel bad for dogs or you feel bad for animals because you kind of feel like they're helpless.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
you
feel like an extra level of like sadness when they're going through some shit.
Yeah, man. It's like so different from a wolf, right? But they give you, you know, they have the ability to show like emotions in their eyes, and you could tell when they're sad or they feel a little, or maybe they feel sadness. I'm sure they do.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But they do. I watched a program, I think on Netflix. They were talking about dogs, and they were saying how those puppy eyes is a trait they learned that works with humans, and it's been that's why all the dogs have it, because it's like a gene that worked for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you imagine like so if you take it back to like when we were hunter gatherers and you have these wolves kind of hanging out in the outskirts there and you leave food behind or you take down whatever it is, some type of mammal
Mm-hmm.
and it's too big for you to take back, obviously they're going to take advantage of the fact that you couldn't carry
Mm.
the whole carcass. You just took what you could. They would come around and just eat that, and it was just because the dog is kind of they scavenge too for food.
Well, isn't that how they theorize how man and dog even came to be? Because the wolves would always be on the outskirts of like the humans, and then sometimes the humans would throw them scraps,
Yeah,
and then this, like bones and all the stuff that we can't eat. And then the wolves figured out that they would be more prosperous with the human, and then all the humans started taking the friendly ones, and then separating the aggressive ones or killing the aggressive ones, and then kept breeding all the smart ones that stay with them that were non-aggressive, and
yeah,
bred them all the way down to a goddamn pug. Well,
yeah.
the original ones didn't do it. We did that, but yeah, I think that's how we got down from wolves to dogs.
It's crazy that animal went from a wolf to Winnie, who's my
Right.
little Chihuahua.
Well, it's not that kind of crazy, because if you think about it, if a dog had a litter like beagles, let's just say, if I had a litter of beagles, and one or two of them were what they call lemon beagles, which are the light brown white ones with no black in it.
Okay.
So if I kept taking those light brown and white ones and kept breeding them, then I wouldn't even have any black coated beagles anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but at what point does the body start to change?
Well, then okay, then I could go as far as only breeding the really big ones with the other big ones, and only taking the big puppies and then breeding with the other big puppies, and then you can start manipulating the body. I think that's how they do the teacup. That's how they got a teacup of any type of dogs, because they kept taking the smallest version of it and kept breeding it to where that small gene is the dominant one. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have dominant genes. I think if you could manipulate, like using, taking the biggest dogs or the runts, taking all the runts and keep breeding with the other small ones, and then that litter will probably be small, and you just keep doing it like that.
Do you think that it's something that's like tied to only dogs, or can we do that to like human beings? Where it's like
Good question.
like
I bet
LeBron
you-
James, we
Do you think that if we took like parakeets, let's say, or what birds talk? Parakeets, right? They could
sure parrots.
Some could
parakeets.
actually talk.
Yeah, yeah.
What if we took the ones that are really vocal and kept breeding them with the really vocal ones, like the above average vocal ones, and to a point where fucking goddamn one can learn a whole language and just speak? That's interesting to think about.
Yeah, I don't know though. See, that's the thing. It's like, so if you take, I'm wondering if dogs have this trait and no other species have it. Or maybe there are some other species out there. But what I'm saying is, like, do you think you could take a human being that jumps real high with another human being that jumps really high? And then at some point, 1,000 years, 2,000, 5,000 years, a million years, we're flying?
No, but I do think you could potentially start trying to make superhumans. Not like superhumans, but like you can make ones that are prone to being super athletic and super tall. I mean, if you kept breeding 6'5" and above people together, they're always going to have giant babies, and then they'll just, I don't know. Yeah, I think you could do that. I think you could
Yeah, so you think you could do it with any animal?
I don't know, because I don't know if all animals are
I think
domesticated.
we're getting into eugenics here.
Yeah, because I don't
Nazi
think
shit.
all animals you can domesticate them. Like, you can't domesticate a fucking bear. You might be able to, but I don't think so. Like, you see those Russian videos, and they got like the fucking bear in the living room with them, and they're like fucking around. I don't know, but I think at any point that bear can decide to rip you up.
Yeah, if he
It
gets
just
hungry
hasn't done
enough,
it yet.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
yeah.
So I think wolves were, it's I think, but we're talking about tens of thousands of years too. You know, like evolution takes a long fucking time. Our brain can't really fathom how long evolution really takes. You know, like
Well, I see that's the thing where I feel like, these tiny little, you've seen those little pit bull French bulldog mixes that are just so tiny and small.
right,
That didn't take hundreds of thousands of years. That took,
true,
you know, what,
yeah, but
four
they're
generations, 5 generations?
yeah.
Yeah, I
Maybe it depends on the life cycle of the animal. Because like if it's a shorter life cycle, then yeah, you can go through a lot more generations quickly.
yeah, bro science for sure. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows? Yeah, but dogs are pretty incredible because they have those like Rhodesian Ridgebacks. They have those. So that dog has a trait where down its spine the hair runs the opposite way. You've seen those?
Mm-mm.
They're supposed. I guess they're called. They have a nickname. They're the lion dog.
Say it again.
Rhodesian Ridgebacks.
Okay, how do they look?
So they're brown, brown. Like what would I describe it? Kind of like those, a wallet, like that wallet. Maybe just a little lighter, like a brown, like a true brown.
Or are they like in Africa or something?
They are in Africa actually, or they came from Africa or were bred there in Africa. They got a black muzzle. They kind of have black feet.
They look a little bit like hyenas.
No.
I just seen some dogs that were in Africa.
Oh, you're kind of talking about the African wild dog? No, these are
Yeah, they call them
human
African
bred.
hunting dogs. Okay.
Yeah, these are human bred. They're domesticated, but because they grew up or because they were domesticated and bred in Africa, their insect bites, they're not affected by insect bites. So we get a mosquito bite and
A lot
our
of
skin
animals are
puffs
like
out.
that though.
Are it really?
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't say affected, but you see all those like African documentaries and stuff, and they show the animals, and if you zoom in, all of them got bugs flying on them.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, I think they're aware of it, but they can't do shit about it. But I don't think they're affected by it. Like,
Well, no, I mean like if we get a mosquito bite, we get a little bump.
right.
These dogs will get a mosquito bite, and it will not bump up.
Well, it's probably just because they've gotten so many, they're just immune to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like other dogs, my dog that I had years ago, Bea, she would get mosquito bites, and I could see the bump because her hair would stick up.
Did you ever see a dog that like swallowed or got bit by a bee? What their face looks like?
Oh yeah,
I just seen a couple of videos where the dogs like they're straight up poofy faces.
Yeah.
They're all like all happy, but their face just looks like it's melting or something.
yeah,
It's funny.
yeah. I've seen it. Well, the other thing I've seen is like when dogs, the skunk, but not only the skunk, the porcupines, where they have all those quills stuck in their face.
They try to bite it.
Oh
They
my
made the mistake.
God, it's all in their mouth, and oh, poor animals.
Yeah, on the I think it was the Our Planet documentary or series on Netflix. They were talking about the African hunting dogs and how they there's these buffalo. They always they always go after the herds of buffalo, and they always try to go after the calf because it's easier.
Yeah,
so they try to
easy prey.
separate them. So they work as a team. They flank them, and then all the buffalo are running, and they're trying to get them to turn directions, and then the baby calf will get like confused and run the wrong way, and then they'll trap it. But it's pretty gangster, like watching the buffalo like fend, because the adults and the parents they'll protect they'll protect the calf, and you'll see them like try to use their horn to like they're just using their big body and their speed to just block them, and it's kind of crazy because the guy I was talking about how the hunting dog has crazy endurance. It's probably because they gotta just wait for the right moment to get them, and so it could take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
That's another thing that I often wonder, like, how do these dogs, because dogs will have their hunting style, right? They know that there's one that runs up in the front.
Right.
They got the guys who stay in the middle. They got the ones who hide in the bushes and, come in from the
they
front.
all know their role.
Yeah.
And it's unspoken, well, in our terms. But how the fuck do they know that? Okay, so that do you think there's like a consciousness that they're all speaking through, or is it just gestures that they pick up on? Like maybe it's the look of the eye, maybe they could really tell we look at facial expressions. Well, they can only have probably so many, but maybe they're more in tune with eyes, or maybe it's a scent. Yeah, it's amazing. How do they know? How do they know? How do they know? Hey, you two go to the left. You two go to the right. I'm gonna go up the front. This guy, you go in the. You wait from for when it panics and goes that way. You're there. Like, how the fuck do they all know? It's pretty
so
crazy to think
wild.
about. Yeah.
But who knows, right? Because I don't know. I imagine one of them has got to be the fast one, and he's gonna chase, right?
Right.
The slowest one is probably gonna hide in the bushes.
Well, there's a lead one, and I bet you that's probably because there's always an alpha. There's always a
Right.
one,
Right.
and it's interesting how they figure that out too. But I think
That's
he's the
easy.
one who's probably, because I think he's the one who's trying to take him down. I don't know.
I think he's
the lead
just the
dog.
strongest, biggest one,
Right.
right?
But I don't know if he's the lead necessarily. But I think I don't know if the alpha's lead or is he last.
No, I don't know. Yeah, it's just super interesting how these dogs, they just know, or we just haven't figured out
Right. Well,
how they communicate exactly.
I know they communicate through some kind of sense, because that's why dogs like piss on trees, and they'll know their territory
Right.
by scent.
Yeah.
I know that. So it's like, yeah, I always joked that my dog would always, when I take him around the blocks and all the different trees and fire hydrants or whatever and street lights, he always pisses on the certain ones. And then it's like, at first I joked, I'm like, oh, he's just saying what's up to his friends, but there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
It's like there's some kind of communication going on.
Right.
Maybe it's just like, oh, you thought this was yours, oh, it's mine now. I don't know if it's just that simple, or if it could be like, hey, I was here, and they all try to, I don't know.
Yeah, like a bunch of years ago, I got really into like Caesar Milan, and I bought all his books and I read all his books.
The pack leader.
The pack leader, yes.
You are the pack leader.
And yeah, so in one of his books, he talks about how when a dog goes around and smells, their senses are so strong, they know what has happened in the last 2 weeks. And it's a lot like a human being going around and reading the newspaper. But they're going on with their nose, they're able to pick up on, oh, this dog, I don't know, possibly maybe even has cancer, because you know how they have these dogs that smell cancer.
I was gonna say they can smell it on people. That's a
cancer.
fucking-
How about the dogs?
That's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
So cancer has a smell. Is it rotting? I bet you it's like fucking some kind of something like that. Decay probably has a certain kind of smell.
Yeah, we just can't smell it.
Yeah, right. That's interesting.
Wow. So imagine you take, like, the next 10,000 years, if cancer's still around, but like one big nose guy marries a big nose woman, and then over time they keep going into the big nose, and then they get to the point where this person stinks because, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, with the way dogs' evolution is, I wonder if that happens with us.
There's definitely some people who have heightened senses than others.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
people have better sight. Some
Right.
people got better sense of smell. I feel like my sense of smell is shit because I'm a painter now. It's like it's like my girl. She'll like smell like, yo, you smell that? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like you don't smell. It smells like sewer. I'm like, I can't smell that.
It's probably you still have COVID.
I'm telling you, I don't know. It did fuck my nose up for sure, and it took a long time, and I swear it might not be 100%, but it is. It most likely is, but like in my head, low key, I feel like it fucked my nose up a little bit.
Wow.
But
So I wonder if dogs got COVID.
well, I don't know if they were saying it, but the deer were getting them. Apparently, somehow deer were testing positive for them.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting, right? Because imagine a dog without its sense of smell.
Oh, right. Oh, fuck, right. And that's
How confused would he be? He's like, what's happening?
true.
I imagine in his brain, he's thinking, this is the end of the world. Where's all the other animals that I used to smell?
Do you think because you know how they have those therapy dogs that they'll, if the person's really anxious, so they'll know how to calm them down.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a scent that goes up, or they're just reading? They can read gestures. They can read like body language.
It's probably Both, all of them.
Yeah, because maybe we start sweating at a very like
Yeah, who
small.
knows? Do their eyes work exactly like ours? Do they see what we see?
And how the fuck would we ever know? You know how
Yeah.
they say? I think they say dogs only see in black and white.
Okay.
How? How could you know that?
Some dog learned how to speak and told the doctor somewhere.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't fucking. We try to act like we know a lot of shit about animals. You know, it's like I feel like we can only know so much. We can't know how they think. But I don't know. But we're stupid. You know.
Yeah. Well,
I'm dumb.
I know
So
that.
I don't know.
Well, you know when your dog is thirsty. You
Right.
know when your dog wants to go out. Like,
Right.
because there's this communication that's
Yes.
happening without words.
100%. 100%. And I
Right.
know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Like I know when he wants. I know when he's trying to bring me. It's funny because now when I come to my mom's house to let him out, he's so used to going on walks that when I'm walking, especially when it's a nice day, like he knows the nice days, and it's like as soon as I walk in, he like tries to lead me straight to the leash. He like he jumps up a little bit. He looks behind me, makes sure I'm there. He'll take a couple steps, like look behind me, like keep following me,
Yeah.
and then he'll go up to the he knows under the sink is where the plastic bags are, and if I grab the plastic bags, he already knows.
You're
It's like
going
that's the
outside.
first step. As long as
Yeah.
I grab, and then he'll go there first, and if I don't, let's say if I'm just trying to take him out, and then he'll run to the back where the leash is, and he'll
Yeah.
point straight to the leash. It's like, yeah, they don't gotta like say nothing. It's like you know what the fuck they want.
Yeah, it's like they've memorized these patterns, and
Right.
hey, this is the first step, second step. Oh, it's getting yeah. So
Just
they get
like
super excited.
just like their name, right? Like
Right.
they don't understand the words, but they probably understand the tone, the two syllable thing. A lot of dogs names, you know, whatever. It's like
Yeah.
Dexter. He probably doesn't hear D.
Yeah.
He doesn't hear Dexter. He just hears like the sound, and I only say that when I'm talking to him. It just sounds like a two syllable. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Or with those giant ears,
mhm.
those funnels, he hears more.
I think it's pattern recognition.
Yeah, who knows?
It has to be. That's why you got to give them treats, and you tell them sit, and
But I feel it's like kids, right? It's selective hearing too. Like sometimes you'll call your dog and you can
it's
be like,
gestures
he's
too.
like, whatever.
Like you got to be good with gestures. Like you have to give certain, like a lot of commands when trainers. You ever see those videos of like really crazy trained dogs? There's always like hand gestures and shit involved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could like, so Winnie sometimes when I'm cooking, she's like underneath me, and she won't notice that I dropped a little piece of food, and so I'll point to it, and she knows directly where to go. I'll be like, there it is, and then she'll just right to it. So yeah, so they but I'm saying, like, if their nose is that powerful, do you think their eyes are also at that same level, and then their ears? You know what I mean?
No,
Because their food is bland. Have you ever tasted their kibble?
no, they shouldn't.
Sucks.
Well, Kibble's the worst one. I think Kibble's got like fake. It's not even
Well, it depends what brand you buy.
right. Isn't Kibble a brand?
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying their little
Oh,
circle
just like their
hard food.
I get them the blue. I get them the blue
Oh,
brand.
Buffalo Blue. Yeah.
I don't know if it's any better, but it's twice as expensive as any other one. So you try to feel like in the inside, like, oh, it must be better then.
Yeah, you really got to
But
read
I will
that
say this:
stuff.
I gave him that since he was a puppy, and I gave him other dog food, and he pukes it out. He can only eat that food now.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
shit.
Maybe he just really, really likes it, or he's anorexic.
No, he's definitely not anorexic, man. He got a little. You know,
He got a gut.
I chopped his balls off. You know, like you
Oh.
you always hear the neuter.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that anymore. I
Yeah.
don't think
Did
you
he
should.
change?
Yeah, because he lost his testosterone. He lost like, he was lean. He looked great. As soon as I chopped him off, like a month or two later, he looked chubbier. I mean, like,
Wow.
so, and think about it. It's like, how fucked up is that? You're taking the balls, and you're just, what would you want your balls chopped?
No.
Right? And it's
No.
like, I don't. And then I thought about that. I was like, well, I know back in the day, like they'd always say like spay and neuter your dogs because I think people used to like, fucking let them out of their house as soon as they didn't want them. They leave them in the hot
Yeah.
yard and they didn't want them breeding and making a bunch of fucking neighborhood dogs. And I know there's some people who say it's healthier, but I don't get how you'd be healthier having your balls removed. And it's like that's where I don't know. That's where their testosterone and shit is.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that maybe dogs should have birth control? Well, I'm just saying, like, I mean,
You
dude,
just
you know what sex feels like for you.
right.
You know, do dogs get that same sensation? I know deer when it's hunting season, they are, bro. They are lit.
I don't think they have the concept of doing it for pleasure. It's just always like procreation on their mind.
Who told you that?
Yeah, you're right.
I
How
think
would
they,
I know that? Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
no,
I
I
don't know.
think they
My
enjoy
gut
it
feeling, well, I'm sure they do. I mean, there's a
because the
reason.
drive is so strong. They'll
Right,
see
right,
a
right.
leg and they'll be like,
Well, there has to be an ending to that. So I'm sure that's like a good. But you never see like a. I don't think it. I don't know. You don't ever see
like a sexy Great Dane.
yeah, I don't know, or like I guess I never. I'm trying to think if I've ever even watched dogs have sex. Like I've seen it, sure, like clips of it or whatever, but like from start to finish, I don't know. I think they just jump off and walk away. It's like I don't think they enjoy it like that. I think it's just they have.
Yeah, no, I don't think they jump off. I think they swell inside and then they kind of get stuck together for a little while. Like,
Is that what happens?
yeah, dude. So the female comes around and she has a strong scent to
Heat
her.
or whatever. That's when the dog's
She's in heat, yeah. And the male just, I mean, if she comes by just a fence where there's dogs behind, the dogs will go wild. And if they ever get to the female, they'll mount her and then they'll do their thing, but they get stuck for some time, and then they stay stuck in. They're just stuck,
Mm.
and then at some point they release and whatnot. But yeah, but nowadays the breeding doesn't happen that way.
Or do they do it like in vitro? Or whatever?
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
they?
It's artificial insemination.
It's probably easier, right?
Is it though?
More consistent.
Like we're cutting their balls,
Well, they're probably taking the studs.
semen.
Yeah, like the lineage, right? With dogs, it's all about lineage. Like
Yeah.
the showroom, if it won, like,
Yeah.
would you ever do that? Do those man? It's a type of person, right? To be like in those shows.
Ah,
No kids. You can't have kids.
no. You know what? I like being clean. Those people, they always look like they have dog hair everywhere.
No, they look like people who they just talk to their dogs a lot.
They have plants.
They just straight up conversation. No, it's like
They walk to the grocery store and come back with grocery bags.
and they're the type of people when they're out in public with each other and they'll talk to the dog, but everyone else could hear them. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a weird,
Yeah.
weird dynamic.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it's interesting. Dog people, right? Yeah. That's crazy. Do you think chicken people are that way too? Is there chicken
Would
people?
you ever own chicken?
Yeah, I want to.
That's actually not a bad idea. It's easy and you get free eggs off it.
You think it's easy?
Yeah, they don't need much. They don't need much room.
Hmm.
I don't
Where
think-
would you put them? We live in the city.
Yeah, that's where it gets weird.
So if you would move out to to country, then, and how many chickens would you have?
I don't know. I don't know what the lifespan of a chicken is because you'd have to eat it at the end, right?
I mean, as long as
It's like
you
3
you
years,
want-
right? I feel like it's like
till
3
you get
years.
hungry.
Right, you gotta worry about wolves figuring out that you have chickens.
Wolves, coyotes, skunks,
Coyotes, yeah,
raccoons,
Coyotes are the ones that are gonna
possums.
get you. Get
Yeah,
them.
yeah. That's another thing, right? It's really crazy. Was it probably about 5 years ago? I went to my buddy's birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
and he's out in Tinley Park. And I started walking out to my car, and I was just walking down the sidewalk, and to one side there's a forest preserve,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like a park. People would just ride their bike and whatnot. There's trails, and on the other side there's homes. So I was walking to my car. I crossed the street. I was on the uh, trail side, uh, the opposite side of the home, the row of homes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking to my car, and I just felt a presence. I didn't hear it. I felt a presence, if that makes any sense.
Hey, move that blanket real quick. It's blocking the. There we go.
Yeah, so I was walking to my car. I felt a presence. I turned around. I didn't see anything. I turned back around and I see this giant dog. I'm talking
Mm.
60, 65 pounds. And look at it. It doesn't look like a coyote to me. Like I've seen coyotes and they always look skinny.
Yeah.
They look really thin
Yeah,
and they
right.
look small,
Right.
short,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Like 30 pounds max.
That's what I thought a coyote was like. This thing was 60. This dog was bigger than my medium-sized dog,
Mm.
which she was a 60-pounder. And it ran by me, and I ran to my car. I took a video of it. I chased it right in my car. I took a video of it. Dude, I compared that image to images of wolves. It looks just like a wolf.
Mm.
And then I called DNR, and DNR told me that there was wolves on, I can't remember exactly where they said, but on the other side of 80, there are red wolves. But no one seems to believe me.
What color was it?
I don't know. It was dark. It was
Mm.
coyote colored, wolf colored. You know, it had that like specific
Brown.
pattern,
I
you know,
grayish.
grayish, reddish, whatever. And yeah, but I've heard other people say that there are 65-pound or even heavier coyotes. And I have that video. It's up on my Instagram of that dog. And then I've made that comparison. I've taken that video and I've showed people, and I'll be like, this is a coyote, this is a wolf, this is what I saw. And they're like, damn, it looks exactly like a wolf. Yeah, so so what'd you say exactly what's in this drink?
So it's like a cocktail mix, but it's like infused simple syrup with jalapeno, so it's got like a little sweet and spice to it with some Tito's. Oh, okay, there we go. So I had Tito's, and then topped it off with Topo Chicos. That's what's in the drink. But so I went into my freezer to whip out the Tito's, and I noticed there was like stuff floating in the Tito's. I looked at it, and it was like shards. It was so cold. Like I had to have it on my freezer. Like I don't go in and out of my freezer, or maybe it just turned up too much. But I didn't think that vodka freezes. But there was some floating like crystals in it, and then after a while, it wasn't there anymore. So something was freezing in it.
Wow.
I don't know what it was.
How long has it been in there?
Just a couple weeks.
I wonder if it like started to separate or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it, or if that's just some kind of impurities that are in it that are freezing. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I kind of looked at it and I was like, why? Because it looks like broken glass that's floating in it. That's
Yeah.
what it looked like. But then I knew, I mean, I knew there wasn't any broken glass in it because it barely opened. It was kind of a newer, actually, I drink about half of it. So, but, yeah, I thought that was interesting.
You ever go to pour your last bowl of cereal, and when you go search for milk, you don't have it, or your milk is bad, or you pour bad milk into your cereal?
Nah, I never see milk never lasted that long where it would go
Okay.
bad.
Yeah.
I used to put down like a gallon of milk, like in my cereal heyday. Like I probably would have a gallon of milk in 3 days tops.
Okay. Wow.
Tops. So there was never ever it was never going bad.
Yeah, milk was bad.
What's your favorite kind of cereal?
So I haven't eaten cereal in years, but I would say it's that Reese's one,
The
that peanut
racist
butter.
one?
Yeah, Reese, the little like peanut butter,
Yeah.
or the Captain Crunch, the peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Yeah, those are. It's kind of amazing how rough those are on the mouth if you don't let those soak
I
for a
was
little
just thinking
bit.
about that as soon as I
You
said that.
have to let them soak, and it's so impossible because
I don't like
cereal.
soggy cereal, dude.
No, but that cereal's like rough.
Yeah, no, it
I,
really is.
you know what? Had cereal maybe I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I don't know how many times I'm gonna hit that fucking mic right there. Um, I was walking on the aisle and I saw I usually go for cinnamon toast crunch. It's probably it's a good go-to.
Yeah.
And they had a new flavor. It was like cinnamon dulce or something like that.
Okay.
And so I was like,
Sounds
oh.
good.
Yeah, it was really good. And I was like, whatever, I get that. And then I don't do milk, so in the same aisle they have like the almond milk and stuff like that. But I don't know, one of the almond milks it messed up my stomach. I guess there's some almond milks that have, I don't know what the chemical or protein or whatever it was. Some have it, some don't. And the one that I had was messing up my stomach, almost like I was drinking milk. It had like the same effect. And I don't know if it's lactose or not, but I don't know if that's only dairy. But anyways, so I got the this plant based one. This actually, and it was cinnamon flavored. So it was like this. Actually, I have it in the fridge right now. I forgot.
Is it the kind that tastes like horchata?
No, but it is a little sweet. So
Okay.
it added to it. It was fire. I had the whole box in a night.
Holy shit, dude.
But dude, I think they're shrinking the boxes because I don't know. It was like 2 bowls. Dude, seriously, it was like, well, you know they're doing that, right? Like
Yeah.
I seen the very few like little news clips that I somehow caught. They were talking about that, and they were showing the net weight of the product is going down like a third or whatever.
I mean, yeah, because like the it doesn't make sense because the portion size already so small, and then there's so much in there. But if you pour it into like a regular sized bowl, it's like it wouldn't be much at all.
No, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
And it's
you
like,
see a portion size of Doritos,
yeah,
and you look at it, if you actually pulled it out of the bag and saw
yeah,
one portion, it's like no one ever eats that.
right.
You can't.
Yeah, but it's like going to a bar and then they fill up your cup like just at the. They don't fill it. It's just at the bottom.
Right.
It's like, what about the rest of the space? You got to fill that in. Hey, I did hear a theory. I don't know if it's true, but it's cornflake theory.
Okay. About the cornflake theory.
Yeah.
Explain what that is.
So, so the, so I guess the guy was he was either Mormon or Presbyterian, and we'll look it up and we'll get the truth. But so this guy, he thought that Americans were having too much sex. Oh no, they were masturbating too much.
Okay.
And so he wanted to bring out a product that would help stop masturbation. So he created cornflakes for America so that men in America would not masturbate as much.
I don't get where's the correlation?
I don't know, but
Is,
I feel like, so when I started doing research on sugar, I heard that sugar messes up the little veins in your
balls?
penis
Okay.
that help it get erect.
Okay.
Sugar destroys those vessels.
I don't know, man.
So
I don't think it does. I eat a lot of sugar.
and I brought you cookies today.
Oh, I know. I only had 2 though. I was being good.
Oh, that's good. Well, I mean, when I leave here, they're gonna stay here, so
Yeah, I know.
there's like
That
16
was a
cookies in there.
mistake. That's gonna be.
I don't want
be a
them.
problem.
I do not want them at all. But yeah, so anyways, that's the theory, man. Can you that's your contribution to America?
What?
That you're gonna create a product that makes
know.
men less horny?
It's just about making money. They don't go fuck, and they're like all the side effects are, whatever. They don't give a fuck.
What,
Half the
products wise? You mean it's just like capitalism? They just want to make money.
Right. They're like, oh, think about how many different sugar products. It's all just sugar, you know. So they just figure out different things. And like chips, you ever read some of the ingredients that are in some of these things? It's like you can't even pronounce them. It's like, how's that an ingredient in food?
Yeah, it's just waste from another product that they could use as a filler.
And it's funny how some ingredients are just like colors. It's like red 40, yellow 5.
Yeah,
Like what?
it's like they almost want you to make it at home.
What tree is that grown off of? Like,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
like what plant does that come off of?
Can you imagine a recipe book or their recipe book? It's just,
Dude, look at this fucking guy.
oh man,
He fucking.
we're watching the UFC and we got a guy.
Oh, he looks like fucking like like
The old school
Mario,
fighter.
like a he's from the 20s, like he's
Yeah,
the final boss.
He looks like that one. Yeah, exactly.
Like put him up.
Yeah, he looks like that guy when he rolls his mustache and he holds his hands
He's 14
straight
and 2.
out in front of him, right by his chin.
This Marco Madsen's 11-0 though.
Uh-oh, 14-2.
39-37, man. See, like that's pretty good.
Yeah,
They'd be considered a little older, right? Late 30s or once like, or like they say like early 30s is like their prime, right?
yeah, they're in their prime in their 30s. Yeah,
That's probably when they're.
when they start hitting 40, it's like, oh, they're probably like 27 fights in or something like that.
What's his name? Tim Miller is the name or something like. He's like I think it's Tim Miller or something Miller. He was just on Rogan. He has the most amount of fights, and he's like almost 40, or he just turned 40 or something.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. That's just it's too much for me. Too much. I wouldn't be able to do it. But anyways, we're watching UFC 273 while we're talking here. Marco Madsen, 11-0.
When's the last time you did some jujitsu?
2 years ago.
2 years. Oh, right. So right when COVID's.
Yeah, around it. Well, no, not really. So, because so my buddy lives down the street. In his garage, he has a little gym set up. I went there a couple of times, 2 or 3 times during COVID, just to go hang out with him. So I don't know, maybe a year, 6 months ago, something like that. Yeah. So I haven't done it in a while, but once you have it, I mean, obviously you're not getting any better.
Do you ever get ringworm from the mat?
Yes. Yeah. Twice. Twice. My buddy had it right on his face.
Oh.
Just right on his cheek, under his eye.
Do you have you ever heard of anyone getting staph?
Yes.
That's fucked up, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of common, but it's like a really fucked up thing if you get it,
Yeah, I mean,
or if you don't deal with it, I should say.
yeah, if you don't take care of it right away, it could become. I mean, you could die.
Right. But it would take a while for you to be like really ignoring the signs.
Yeah, it depends. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it gets bad real fast, and other times, well, it takes a while.
Right.
But I mean, it depends. Yeah, it's just your immune system, whatever it's like. Because I mean, I've had it where it's like just a little pimple on my thigh.
Yeah, that's right. It says it's like a little pimple. It's like most
Yeah.
people think it's like a spider bite or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it could look like a spider bite, but it's basically a pimple, and then you could get them as big as your like whatever your thumb diameter is. You know, it's just your meat rotting away.
One time I had an indoor soccer game, and I don't know if I fell or whatever. I had like a rug burn on my thigh,
Okay.
so like a little raspberry, and
Turf or grass?
it was turf.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it was the next day or that day. I went to the beach right here downtown, Lake Michigan, and after I went in the water, like I don't know, a couple of days later, I started getting these like yellow, like blisters on my thigh.
Whoa.
And at first, I thought they were just little pimples. Everyone gets little pimples, whatever. But I noticed they looked a little different. They're a little bit bigger, and it was like yellow, like a little pus was coming up.
Wow.
And I was like, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I started kind of getting enough of them where I was like, okay, something doesn't. It wasn't just one or two. It was like,
Yeah.
and then I got some kind of like fucking bacteria infection from fucking Lake Michigan water, dirty ass water over here.
is dirty.
It's so fucking dirty. I never want to be in that fucking honestly, ever since then, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I know that river is real bad. I actually
Yeah. Okay. What happens when they dye green? Doesn't that it has to kill? There's no way that's healthy for the water.
I think it's just food coloring is what they say
know,
it
but
is. It's
still.
green 40.
It still can't be good. Like
It's that same color they use to paint the berries in Captain Crunch Berry Crunch.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, that river is really bad. It's really bad. I went when so I did a little talk with my daughter and her friends,
mm-hmm.
and we talked about Bubbly Creek.
Where's that? What's that?
So yeah, I recently talked about it, but so Bubbly Creek is kind of in like the McKinley Park area,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that section of the river where it kind of forks off and goes into like the McKinley Park area. So that area all alongside there was a bunch of like slaughterhouses for pigs and other animal bovines or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and all the guts they would just throw them into the water.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And so I mean, since the 40s, they were throwing shit in there forever. And all those.
Dead bodies too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? About how many people just fell and just died or got swept away by something or, you know what I mean? Homeless people.
Is there any fish that would eat that shit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's full of fish. But anyways, so all of the carcasses and all of the guts and stuff, they kind of settled in the soot of the bottom of the river, and they bubble up over time. So as you're walking through that, you're looking into the river,
Mm-hmm.
you can see where the river bottom burps, and you get these bubbles coming up. It's called Bubbly Creek. And well, that's not even the funny. Well, that's the terrible part, right? 'Cause it's heavily polluted,
Mm-hmm.
but the funny part is if you go on your phone and you look up reviews for Bubbly Creek, like in Yelp,
Okay.
you have all these people, like hundreds of people have left reviews, and they'll be like two stars, 4 stars, whatever, right? But they're funny. They're like, yeah, earlier I fell into the Bubbly Creek, and now, one of my eyes died, but I grew another one, so I'm fine. Or they'll be like, I got a couple arms. Or just people are just constantly. Some people, obviously some are funnier than others, but everybody just jokes around. They have a Yelp page for Bubbly Creek. It's just a weird thing that happened here in Chicago.
I'm trying to fucking put this fucking fight back up.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I kept wanting to shut it off.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing ever.
What the greatest thing ever is the people who figured out how to hack all the streaming stuff so you could stream it from home.
Yeah.
Like on these, I got the Stream Master. Like this thing's pretty cool. Gets all the channels, all the things on it. It's like, how do they fucking figure that out?
Yeah.
Those cauliflower ears, man, those are just fucking grotesque. It's like
Some are worse than others, but that's
some people think it's like those kind of people think it's like a sign of badass. Like I fucking earned these ears,
yeah.
But it's fucking ugly, dude. No chick is not. That's not gonna make a pussy wet. That's gonna dry her up. It's gonna be like,
you'd be wrong.
oh man,
You'd be wrong.
dude,
I've been to these jiu-jitsu competitions, especially like so I went to
I can't say 100%, but it's a small percentage.
Bro, when I was in Vegas for the Masters, the IBJJF, the Masters there, these Brazilian guys all cauliflowered eared up, the most beautiful women. And not only were they beautiful, but it was like, bro, I've never been treated the way some of these women were treating their men. I mean, they were massaging them. They were like, I was like, what?
That's for the 2 hours you saw them, but you don't know what else that comes with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, man, at that time, I'm like, if this is how you behave in public, And a lot of them had cauliflower ears, but I'm just saying, man, some of these Brazilian girls are absolutely
It's
gorgeous.
hard. It's like calcified blood, right, or something. What is it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like your ear breaks down and it repairs itself, and then you have layer upon layer of just trauma into the ear. And some people drain it. My buddy Lou drained it. They, I believe he drained it right at the school.
Yeah,
God,
nothing to
how
talk
bad?
about.
How about it? How
No
bad
one's
is that
listening-
freestyle?
No
though?
one's gonna listen to this. It's like they didn't say anything interesting.
we just got to put it out there. That's all. We just got to put it out there.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good idea to like talk about something. We'll have. I need to do a little more preparation with like some. I think I said it last time, but I think like if we're gonna record on Saturdays, then like Saturday morning, I will look at some news like what happened the last couple of days, and maybe we could talk about like I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Have a little bit more subjects. Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, and see you next week, or hear us next week. All right. Bye.
Boom.